Step 1. Install the bottom steel frame. Connect the four corner parts to the bottom main, secondary beam, and fasten with bolts, but do not tighten. After measuring the diagonal lines to ensure that the bottom steel frames are perpendicular to each other, tighten the bolts. Step 2. Install the column. Connect the other four corners parts to the column on the side. Tighten them with bolts, but do not tighten them. And then connect the columns to the bottom steel frame. Be careful not to tighten the bolts to leave room for movement. Step 3. Top steel frame installation. Connect the remaining corner parts to the top beam and fasten with bolts, but do not tighten. Use a level to measure whether the column is vertical to the ground. You can temporarily use the bottom. Square tube for support and adjustment. And then tighten all the upper and lower foot pieces and column connections. Step 4. Bottom square tube installation. Place 9 bottom square tubes. Keep the spacing between the 4 square tubes of 80 millimeters and the 5 square tubes of 40 millimeters and place them alternately. Use bolts to connect and tighten the bottom square tubes and the bottom long beams. Step 5. Top square tube installation. Find the corresponding positions of the 4 pressure plate slots and tighten them with bolts. Place the 3 top longer square tubes at equal distances. Place 40 millimeters top square tubes in the middle and 40 millimeters top square tubes on both sides. And tighten the 2 ends with bolts. Then place 3 shorter top square tubes, 50 millimeters top square tubes at equal distances on them. And tighten the 2 ends of the long and short square tubes and the intersection with the short square tubes with bolts. Place the 2 top square tubes, 20 millimeters top square tubes, tightly under the 2 sides of the 40 millimeters top square tube and tighten the intersection and both ends with bolts. This completes the framework.